All right. He says he needs no introduction to all of you. But all right. So we want to be hearing from all of us here today. And we want to start by just your own introductions. I've made for you some introduction. But maybe you can tell us one or two things about your organization and just one thing about how you've had God maybe in your journey, in your business. And maybe we can start from Edwin. Introduce yourself. Karibu.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my name is Edwin Mwangi. It's a pleasure to be here. I have a lot of stories to tell, but I want to summarize and say I am a techpreneur, meaning I invest in technology. For the last 15 years or so. My last assignment was at Workpay. You know Workpay, right? Umeona billboards, eh? Yeah, I was behind that. I was the chief business officer at Workpay for 7 years. Started from the ground up. We raised from investors about $10 million. That's about 1.3 billion Kenya shillings. It's a lot of zeros, by the way. And then from this year now, I am bootstrapping my own company. And I will talk a lot of jargon because I believe you can understand it. So the difference between investor-funded or VC-funded businesses and bootstrapped companies or bootstrapped companies. I'll talk about that. So I want you to remember that. Beside that, I'm a good friend of Cynthia and Jeremy. We've walked this journey together. And it's a pleasure to be here, and I hope we interact. I hope we ask questions and we learn from each other. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. So you have added some vocabulary. Techpreneur, that one at least is. Then bootstrapping. Hey, Eric, you know that? Oh, okay. Eric knows that. What about Rose? All right, so let's have Anne. You can introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Anne. I don't know bootstrapping just yet, so I presume I'm doing something different. I am a logistician by profession. I work in the maritime industry. I'm in the shipping industry, so I do sea freight. I work for a shipbuilding venture. But as an entrepreneur, I do imports and exports from Kenya to globally. Another side of me is that I am a childcare profession. So I'm a childcare services provider. So we run a play school in Kawasukari. The name is Anna Marie Play School. Thank you.
All right, customers for Anna Marie Play School, are you present in the house today? Customers. Your customers, they're there. Thank you. So we not only import and export, we build ships. Mmesikia hapo? Aha.
Good morning? So my name is Joel Saitoti. So I happen to be the steward or the kingdom steward for an institution, a kingdom institution that is Kingdom Circle, that empowers people, that empowers entrepreneurs to be able to achieve their vision and their mission in the marketplace. And I'm happy to be here today. I think we'll be able to share a lot. One of the lessons I will say, just from hearing God and from what we have experienced is about stewardship, because usually provision always follows stewardship. If God is to ensure that you have provision in your business, then you must be a good steward. You must what he has entrusted to you, you must be able to steward it very well in order for him to entrust more to you. So, and I think that's a principle that has really worked, even for me as a leader, just to know that I am a steward of what God has placed in my hands, and therefore it shapes the way I lead. It shapes also the way we offer our services, and we support entrepreneurs at Kingdom Circle. Thank you.
Right, great. We do customers for Kingdom Circle. Should I ask? Yeah? I remember the first time Jeremy, when we were starting out, he applied 100,000, and they gave us. We were like, you mean? You mean we qualify? That was nice, and we are grateful for your support. Yeah, let's have Jeremy.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Yeah, Jeremy, happy to see all of you. I wear a couple of hats. Happen to be the husband to Cynthia here. I also run SFI. That will be SFI Kenya. So it's an accounting, audit, and tax practice. We are going more now into sustainability reporting. I also I'm the founder and lead steward at Melnet. And on X, you'll find me as the poet who counts. Yeah, so especially for our young men, I'm telling you, if you find a lady like her and you're a poet, then the rest is history. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. So allow me to start with Joel. You call yourself Kingdom Circle. And many times we have businesses that call themselves Kingdom, but they don't necessarily operate in Kingdom principles. So really, what makes a business a Kingdom business?
Thank you very much for that question. Yeah, I think you're right. Just because you're a Christian and you're running a business does not really qualify that business is actually a kingdom business. Because what determines that this is a kingdom business is actually, it is not who owns it, it is who governs it. I think that is a distinguishing. That's how you tell the difference. So
Do you need to write that?
yeah,
It's not who owns it, it's who governs it. That's a big point, eh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so if unless Christ is the one governing and the principles of the kingdom of God governing that institution or that business, then that's the only time you can say that this is a kingdom business. So a kingdom business is one that puts people before profit. It is one that ensures that you are not cutting corners, or you're not cutting shortcuts. The principles of the kingdom are being applied inside of your business. And I think one of the things that we also do at Kingdom Circle is when we talk to entrepreneurs, we always discuss to them the kingdom principles that they need to apply within their businesses, because kingdom principles actually work. Whether you are born again or not, but there are kingdom principles that can actually apply in business, and they do work. Yeah.
All right, that's great. It's the principles that matter, okay? Because the business is an entity in itself, yeah? So you can actually be the owner who is kingdom, or rather born again, but the principles by which you're operating, there's a word the pastor used in the morning, a Kikuyu one. I tried to, but you go with, whatever opportunities there, we just go, okay? But kingdom, yeah, what's kingdom in? So I'd like you to tell us about this issue of borrowing for businesses. So what's the place? And given the way, you borrow, but you have to return.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts about growing our businesses through credit?
Okay. Yeah. So I think number one is that And mostly you find that most businesses probably are not ready, even if they're not ready for funding or for credit, because sometimes you can borrow, but because you have not prepared enough in terms of how you're going to use this funding or these funds, you probably have not gone through some kind of preparation, either training or plan. You have just to make sure you have a good plan. We have seen people who have borrowed, but because they didn't have a good plan, they ended up, in deeper problems because they have put in money in an investment or in a project that did not actually was not well thought out, was not well planned out. So and therefore it did not succeed. It failed. But then you still have a loan that you need to pay. So we always encourage entrepreneurs, before you borrow or even seek funding, that make sure you have a plan. You have a good plan. You have actually consulted a few professionals in that area, or people who probably have done what you want to do, and they're able to give you some kind of guidance, and they're able to give you some pointers, what to avoid, what to do or not to do, so that by the time you're applying those funds in the business, you actually are able to cause them to produce for the business.
All right, so you're saying it is okay for us to borrow,
Yeah.
but we need to have a plan.
We need to have a plan.
To have a plan. So we can jump over to Edwin to just tell us what are the kind of plans that are required for investors to fund our businesses.
Thank you for that question. So every business person starts a business to succeed, right? What is success in a business? Bottom line, what is it? It starts with a P. To make a profit, right? So when you start, you don't have capital. And you will hear a lot of people say, if I get money, if I get capital, umesikia hiyo maneno? Including our siblings who you try to support here and there, and they're like, nikipata capital. But I think I want you to take you back to what Mr. Saitoti has said, the plan. And before the plan is the idea. What are you trying to solve? An entrepreneur, and by the way, for all those that are entrepreneurs, we are very brave people. We try to do things that no one has done. The status quo is that you get employed and be in a comfort zone where you receive a salary and you pay your bills. But we venture out and we go to paths that no one has tested or gone through. But you start with an idea. And how do you generate an idea? There are various ways, but the best is to actually solve a problem that exists. It can be stemmed from your passion, like she's very passionate about childcare and she started a business around her passion. Or some of us just do it for the hustle and we have to survive either way. So start an idea and you stumble upon a problem. And the question to ask yourself is, can I solve this problem? And is anyone else solving it? Competition. And how will I be unique? But most importantly, will people pay for their problem to be solved? If you start a school and people want to bring kids but they cannot pay school fees, will you survive? You will fail. So the idea has to be tested. In startups, we say you have to develop what is called an MVP. I said I will talk a lot of jargon, but I will break it down. An MVP is a minimum viable product or a pilot, not the one who does the the planes. It's a pilot. So you start an experiment. A startup is an experiment. Those who did chemistry in school, experiments can succeed, or that's the reality of startups. And you have to start with that in the beginning. But as I said from the beginning, you don't start to fail. You start to succeed. So once you then, so there's the minimum viable product, or the pilot phase, is about testing, validating the idea against a set of principles. You know, am I really solving a problem? Or it's the, you know, it's a creation that I have in my mind, and I imagine that people can pay for this. Can people pay for this to be solved? That is part of the testing. And then at that place, what you're actually doing is to test the business model. Yeah, can you make a profit? Because if you have not figured that, then to borrow money from a bank or a circle or your friends, or to use your own savings, or even to get money from an investor, is an exercise in futility. You will just burn people's money, and then you will start over-explaining yourself about why you can't pay. So business fundamentals have to be respected in every business, and it starts with a solid idea and a solid business model. When you test it and you are sure, then you can scale it. And I think the place of scaling is the place now you ask yourself, how do I scale this? And scaling is about, if it was one school, how do I make it 10? If it was one branch, how do I open another branch? It was about customer acquisition. How do you get the second customer, the third customer, and all that? If it is about regional expansion, how do you go to Uganda and Kampala? You have to have tested. So I think I will speak about that you have to have a solid business model before you can actually attract funding. Whether it is debt or equity, the model has to work. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, thank you. So you're saying we must be making a profit, eh? So tumerudisha wapi kwa mwana hesabu? How do we know that we are making a profit? Because we might just be juggling all our monies around.
All right. Thank you. So one of the things that happens is that you could be having money in the account, but it is not actually your money. All right. So of course, I think some industries are easier than others. Say, for example, services. But if, for example, you are in retail, and even services varies. Let's say, take the example of our friend here, Saitoti, that now has how many billion?
2.5.
Now at 2.5 billion, yeah? So, you know, that means that his balance sheet reaches 2.5 billion. But then, being able to say, out of that 2.5 billion, how much is actually my money? You know, for example, in his case, it will be that a good portion of it is customer deposits. Then the rest of it is shareholders. And of the shareholders, you'll find that probably his shareholding is, okay, I don't know what percentage. So you find that at times we do that with our businesses, okay? I look at how much is in the bank, and I imagine that it is all my money. So how do I know whether it is my money or not? Then you need to have in place an accounting system, all right? Yeah. Of course, the foremost accountant is God himself. Why? Abraham believed, and it was?
Accounted.
Yeah, accounted or credited to him as righteousness. So, yeah, but that's on a light note.
So actually the righteousness was on credit, eh? It was alone.
I think it's more like debit Abraham, credit righteousness, in my opinion. So,
It's the
yeah,
other way around. Credit some righteousness
to Abraham's
to
account.
Abraham.
That makes a lot of sense because then it means that it is from that credited, like the way that you credit your Kingdom Circle account. It is from what was credited to him that then he could be able to, to draw grace. One of the verses we love is that in Corinthians, which talks about that God is able to make all grace abound, so that in all things, at all times, having all sufficiency, we may abound in every good work. I know Apostle James was talking about giving in the morning, and if you look at the context of that verse, it's actually in the context of giving. And what we've come to learn is that when you give, well, thank God that Mel, that we are not asking that you give. That gives us some freedom as opposed to pastors to just talk about the truth of the kingdom. That when you give, what you get is, when you give, you give of your financial wealth, but then what you get is grace. But the point we were making is that you need in place an accounting system, and we say that an accounting system consists of the people, the processes, and the technology. So that, because I've seen clients that, for example, change softwares, this year, this software, another software, or just fire this accountant and hire another accountant, but you still don't have an accounting system in place. So how you're able to have that is having a perfect blend of people, processes, and technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. So, people, processes, and what?
Technology.
And technology. So there are those people who find, I can't tell whether I'm making a profit. I'm not sure. And then what do they think is a solution? I'm going to buy Zoho. I'm going to buy QuickBooks and all the rest. But we are hearing here that we need to already have the people that you have in mind, okay? Before you even go and get the system. So, somebody who has really, I know the way she does business. I'd like her to tell, by the time she's able to really work across all kinds of markets, both locally and abroad. Maybe you can just tell us, what has your business experience taught you about excellence, integrity, and trusting God in business? And
Thank you. I would like to say that if you will do kingdom business, I think the thing to study more is not business, is kingdom. If you understand...
Where, second point to write. Where are the... please. And we were told that in the morning, is it?
If you understand kingdom, there is a chance that business is part of the things we are told will be added unto you. So for me, I have been an enthusiast of the subject of kingdom, especially after I learned that is what Jesus taught the most, and that is what he brought, the kingdom of God. And even when sometimes it does not make you happy. Like of late I have been thinking about our father Abraham. And he was negotiating a business deal with Lot, where ni kama space haitoshi, space yenye tuko nayo haitoshi. But the mentality of Lot was like, this side looks better, there's a river over there. But our father Abraham told him, choose a side. And he took the other. And I was just thinking, am I ready to negotiate in business like that? Am I ready to, if you look at even Jacob, you steal from him for 7 years. Or you steal from him for 20. Actually today from the sermon, it was like, this guy has been working for several years. And he notices, you're being unfair to me. He does not even say, let's go back to the Zoho books and see how much you owe me. He says, moving forward, ignore what has happened. Moving forward, we will go like this. There is an understanding of kingdom that grounds you in not looking for money, but you operate from the place of, I have money. I am not looking for money.
That point, all right, please.
Because searching
I
for
have money.
I
I'm
have
not.
the money. I'm not hustling. I'm not looking for money. And it grounds you in doing things that are otherwise not very popular and also not very sensible. But I've made peace with it because it's the Bible that tells me that the wisdom of God is foolishness to the world. So it gives me peace. It gives me peace. Like now, another thing I was thinking about the parables of God that says that he goes and looks for people to work. Anapata mtu asubuhi, anapata mwingine 5 p.m. ambaye ana work for 1 hour. And in the evening, he pays all of them. Then I was just telling myself, what does that mean to me right now? It means I employed my nanny on 15th of the month. When it comes to that, yet ninafanya mahesabu namwambia, if you calculate, I'm supposed to pay you half of your pay. And I'm like, where am I coming from? Where am I? Is my heart actually kingdom? Because kingdom does not come from scarcity to wealth. It comes from wealth first. It comes from believing I have been given all that I need for life and godliness, meaning I will not lack. I'm not looking for money to solve a lack problem. And as you continue to study kingdom, business will be a lot easier from you. In this kingdom, you are told, come by without money. So even when you do not have money, it does not mean you cannot buy in this kingdom. The Bible actually invites your type to come and buy. So for me, I would say understanding kingdom will help you do business better. It will help you also be a better human being, even in business, because we were told it's a battlefield. It's very cutthroat. It's very mahesabu. You know, you owe me, I owe you. And the Bible asks you, if you cannot forgive people, are you really of your Father God? So for me, I would say that what God has taught me and how I do business is I usually say business is the things that God adds to me. I am just a kingdom person. Yeah.
Thank you. Looks like she needs a sermon. But thank you for that. Yeah, those are really, really important principles. There's some jargon that Edwin was talking about here, and you know where I had that jargon from? From the team there at Synapis, from Perpetua's team, minimum viable product, and all these other, and they have a course actually that they have that you want to ensure that your business is scalable, it's making a profit. They have a course that they run. Please check them out so that you are not running around without knowing where you're going. Okay. So Edwin, assuming now I'm ensured I have a profit, my business is working. In fact, the investors are loving it. But we've seen many guys attract investor funding, but then collapse. So our question is investor money good or bad? And maybe before you answer, if you have any question for any of our panelists, please hand it over to, is Favor? Oh yeah, to Favor. Favor is here at the middle. Favor, you can just go around and pick any question that you have. She'll write it, you can write it down and ask to any of our panelists. So Edwin, is investor money good or bad?
Thank you for that question, but it's the wrong question.
Okay, correct the question, please.
Correct the question.
Yeah. The question is whether you need it and at what point you need it. It can be good for you, it can be bad for you. But then again, like now, if you look at what happened in the last 3 years in the startup space, and I know you, sorry.
It's okay.
And I know you know what has been happening with the startup ecosystem. You can name a number of people that attracted funding. So I won't go into the names and why, but there are things that we can learn from them. And I alluded to timing when I asked you about when do you need funding? When do you need to scale? It's about timing. Some people attract funding or take money even from banks before they have validated their ideas or business models. And funding or money does not solve those problems. It just amplifies them. So if you had bad people,
Hey, please, we are at number what? Tuko namba ngapi? Yeah? Funding does not solve what? The business problems that you have, okay? It amplifies them. Thank you.
we actually say you are throwing money into problems. It's like throwing petrol to a fire. It just burn. Yeah. So it's about the timing. Do you need the money at that point? And what is your objective? If you have done what I said, test the idea, make sure it is a solid idea. In fact, even challenge yourself to even be profitable at small scale. Be self-sustaining at small scale. Don't start with the money in mind. I know there are founders or founders who think that starting a business is about making a lot of money. And then they hear there are these investors who come with bags of dollars, and the only thing they need to do is write a very nice presentation in PowerPoint, present a pitch deck, but it's not like that. It's not like that. The truth is, you are inviting somebody into your business to be a part of your business. You are selling what you call your baby. Unajua wengine wako attached to their businesses. They say, this is my baby. You are selling a part of it when you are attracting investment. You are shedding away your equity. If you started at 100%, when an investor comes, it's no longer 100%. So the problem also we take investor money too early. What happens? Those who watched KCB Lions Den, for the guys who had an idea, they were just starting. The investors were asking for what percentage? Mulisikia 50+1, like the election vote. Why do they want 50+1? Majority. Why? Control. Your baby, somebody now is in control, calling the shots. Is that what you want? So some of the investors along the way, they lose the spirit, because they are seeing something called a cap table. A cap table is that math that maintains who owns what, and the total is 100%. So when you take money, if you start at 100%, you take the first investment, yours drop to 80%, and 20% is with the investor. The rule of thumb is at any given point, do not dilute another term. Dilute is what is taken away by the investor more than 20%. That's the rule of thumb. Every investment, don't dilute more than 20%. So the next one, you are at 60. The next one, 40. There are investors who have found themselves in this market with less than 20% of their baby. How does that make them feel? And if they threw money into problems, where do you think that money went? It went to paying salaries to not good employees. It went to paying for tools or softwares that you did not need, but you thought you needed. It went to social media marketing budget, because you thought if you are all over the place marketing yourself, customers will just trickle in. It went to a lot of throwing money into problems. So you've lost your business equity but you have nothing to show for it. And the model, because it was not tested, it won't scale. That's the reality of the matter. It won't scale. So what do you need to do? Again, fundamentals, they have to be right. Processes, they have to be right. People, they have to be right. Yeah, bookkeeping, record keeping, very important. Those investors ask for something called, they do something called due diligence. What is due diligence? They are checking your business, every part of it. Oh, do you pay KRA? Na wewe ulisema aje wewe ni mkulima mdogo hata hizo vitu haufanyi. You are not compliant. Uko na items? Hapana. Sisi hatulipi hii serikali maneno mob. You know what I mean, eh? If you want to scale, the truth of the matter is you have to be compliant. You understand? No investor will invest in a business that is not compliant. Why? The risk element. Ukipatiwa hiyo demand letter by Mr. Shuru himself, utafanya nini? Demand letter of 15 million. And now they are saying, fanya aje, lipa kwanza, alafu sasa ukuje uclaim, useme ni lower than that. See, that business has collapsed. How many people have you had have issues now? And some of them are even going further to closing down that company and adding ventures or enterprise to the same name and opening another company thinking that is clever. Is it clever? CPIN ni ile yake, director ni ule. Bank accounts. Anyway, I'm talking about compliance. Do the right things, because when you start attracting serious investments, due diligence will bring out all those issues. The things that you sweep under the carpet come out during due diligence process. You have to be compliant to scale. The other thing that people don't tell you is you will have at some point to value your company. So right now, if I ask you, you have a business, how much is your business worth? Do you count the money in the bank account and that's your valuation? No. There is a science to valuing a business. That is how they determine you are worth 10 million. So if I give you 1 million, it means then I take 10% of your business. It's a whole science. And it is anchored on proper record keeping, proper accounting. Can you tell how much money you are making in a month? Can you tell your revenue to the exact coin? Can you tell your expenses? Can you tell you are making a profit? A lot of small businesses, they can't. Why? Business money, personal money, one pocket, the other pocket. M-Pesa yako na ya business, same WhatsApp.
Wapi majenzis? Wako wapi biashara?
Ukiulizwa receipts, accountant wako every end of the month akona headache. Akikuuliza na hii ulilipa nini? You can't account. You don't have records. Those things are the foundations of your evaluation. So again, back to the fundamentals. Make sure that you have solid business principles, processes, people, and the right technology for you to be able to scale. So in the question of whether investor money is good or bad, it is neither. It is just about the timing. Do you need it? I have said there are paths. You can self-fund. You can realize actually that your business is the way it is, and you don't need money. You can grow organically. And 20-30% return per year is comfortable. Banks make that kind of returns every year, and you can say, I am good with that, meaning you don't need investment. Maybe a small loan here and there, and you can afford to pay, that's good. But when you need investor money, and I've been in this space for long, is when you really need to scale. Because what you do in the investor money, you promise them that they will invest 1 million in your business, and within 18 months or 24 months, that 1 million will be 3 million. That is what you promise. In the presentations you make, there is a slide called projections. Yeah? They buy that story. I project my revenue will move from here. Do you know what they call it? Yardstick growth. That's what they like. Do you know how they add that steep thing? That is what they buy. Is that the reality of the business? Is that how the business grows? Especially in this market. We are just to enter 2027. We know what happens. And today you take money and you say 18 months. Your money, in 6 months' time, your money will be. Is it the reality? It is not. But if you are a solid business and you think you can scale and you can go outside the country, and the only thing you need is that investment, then go through that process, take the money, but make sure that money is used to actually take you there. If it takes you there, this is why people take investor money. As a small business, you own 100% of a small cake. When it scales, you actually own a lesser percentage of a bigger cake. So from a valuation perspective, as a founder, you don't lose because you invited money that helps you put in the right processes, hire the right people that you wanted to scale your business to that level, and now you own a piece of a bigger thing, so you have not lost. That is the only explanation that makes sense to take investor money. I hope I have informed you. Thank you.
Hiyo inahitaji makofi, please. Yeah, that's very important information, yeah? I want to take this opportunity to recognize Richard. He's here with us. Richard, please say hi to the people. Richard has been a friend of ours at Melnet and one of us as well. Really, really supporting Melnet. We appreciate you. Karibu sana. Thank you. So we have had so many things, and there's one person that I know. Favor, the questions ready as we come to? Not yet. So please give your questions to Favor. You can go around as you collect them. So one diligent person that I found with record keeping is somebody called Anne. Please tell us about how do we get diligent with just keeping the simple records, ensuring we are compliant, just ensuring we really know is this business? I would tell Anne, you need to hire someone. She'll say, no, look at this hesabu. If I hire her, it means we'll make this much. So how do you think that way?
I'm glad to speak when one of our accountants is not here, because I'm those who do chase for receipts. So, but how do I make? Let me say, like Edwin, I will answer a different question. How do I make a financial decision in my business? How do I make a financial decision? Let me say that when a decision is financial, it also has implication on other things. For instance, if I hire someone, I am not able to just look at it as a financial decision, because I am hiring someone because they're needed to do something in the business. So I think first I will assess what is this person coming to do? How efficient is my business? Because I'm probably hiring to do something that can easily be done by the people that are there. if I organize my schedules better, the schedules of everybody. So for me, I look at it first holistically before I reduce it to a financial decision. So I will look at the business and say, this person starts their day at 9 a.m., but their contract requires them to start at 8. So meaning they can hold forth from 8 to 9. So before I make the decision financial, I will first assess the business need. Then I will think about how much can the business pay for such a service or such a product. Maybe it's a technology. So first I will look at the need for the business. I will also look at where am I going. Sometimes you can be saying, let me say in the space of education, you can say that I am moving from this curriculum to an international curriculum, and that requires that I pay this expertise to transition me there. No matter how affordable this other expertise is, I will have to pay for what the business requires to move to the next level. So for me, I would say before I make a financial decision, I usually have made several other decisions that are not financial in nature, then approach the money conversation. I, however, expect accountability from myself and everyone in the business. I am those that like people who are accountable for the 50 bob I gave you yesterday, in the same effort that you account for the 100,000 that I gave you the previous day. So I like to keep a record. There is no too small money or too big money. It is the same to me because it's just a matter of principle. You can't account for 100 shillings. You can't account for 100,000 shillings. Neither can you account for 100 million dollars or whatever. So yes, so for me, accounting is a matter of principle. We put things together. Everyone has clarity. Everyone is happy.
Thank you, thank you. You can't account for 100. You can also not account for 100,000. Wait, amkuwa mnasikiza? You cannot account for 100,000, is it? Yeah, so we have to start small. So that business of yours that's making 30,000, account for it. Okay? Thank you. So, Joel, you can tell us. So if Edwin is telling us that for you, the best point to get investor funding is when you want to scale. You have confirmed everything is good. So maybe tell us, what's the best point to take credit? At what point do you think the business requires credit? And the credit will be of benefit to the business. And what do you check when you're giving credit to your customers?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Yes, a business will usually require credit. I think just as he says, when you need to grow or when you need to scale it, and usually what is important is to make sure that the business itself with what you already have is sustainable, and you already have systems in place. You have built processes that are able to sustain this business even in its current state. So usually one of the things we will do is to look at we look at how is a business currently profitable. Is a business currently how are the cash flows looking like?
So where do you check these cash flows? What documents do you ask? Because I know there are people here who are serious business people, but they don't have those documents.
Yeah. So we will for businesses we will ask you to bring your financial reports just to see how are your incomes, how are your expenses. Of course, we'll also validate that with the bank statements so that we see your cash flows through your bank statements. And of course, most of the institutions also will be already they are banking with us. They have so we can actually see those transactions, through the accounts that you're operating. So and what we have done is to make sure that we can even analyze. If you're running a very active account with us, we'll be able to analyze your account and actually be able to see how your cash flows are looking like. So, but if you still give us external documents, we validate. But basically, the idea is to be sure that the business is currently profitable. And something else that also we look at, or we ensure, is that you have been able to put in savings, because majority of the businesses, they want funding, but you have actually not even been out of what you're making from the business, you have not been able to make any savings. So then that tells us that there could be a problem, because if all the money that you're making in the business is being used, there's nothing that is being retained in the business as savings, then already that tells us that there is a problem there. So and therefore we have a requirement for savings, whereby your business should be able to have a current account that you're operating for your businesses, for your business needs. But at the same time, you also have a savings account that you're able to put in savings, so that now that which you have saved is actually what enables you and qualifies you to be able even to borrow more, because the more savings you have, it means that the more capacity you have to borrow as a business. So I think the issue of building a savings culture is a very critical aspect for every individual and even for every business, because most people will normally just run, and I know mostly banks will just give you funds without savings, probably just looking at your cash flows only. And sometimes some businesses will run into trouble, because yes, the cash flows are there, but then you have no reserves. You have no reserves that you have for yourself as a business that could even cushion you in the event that, for example, a challenge comes. You took that credit, and you are able to repay it up to a certain point. But then maybe something happens and the business begins to challenges begins to come into place. Those reserves actually come into place to help you to be able to bounce back. Yeah.
Thank you. So are we keeping some savings, okay, from what we are making? Yeah, that's great. So as we come to a close, Jeremy, this what Melnet is Jeremy's heartbeat, heartbeat. So Jeremy, why is it that that you desire that Christian business people come together? What's the benefit? What's the essence of coming together? Because guys are making profit out there, and they look okay. You actually look all very nice and okay and well taken care of. So why should we come together, Jeremy? And as I wait for the questions, did we get them?
Okay. So the reason to come together is because we are better together. All right? Yeah, we are better together. It may sound as a cliche when we say together everyone achieves more, but it's the truth. Allow me first of all to laud someone like Rose over there, who didn't even know that it was her company that printed these brochures, the beautiful pamphlets that we have. I think that's beautiful. It reminds me of a gentleman that was known as Boaz. You know Boaz? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I know that the story of Boaz is read a lot in weddings. Okay, my people shall be your people, my God shall be your God. But it's a very powerful analogy of a kingdom entrepreneur. Why? When Ruth comes gleaning after the harvesters, it says that Boaz comes and he comes and he finds there is a lady who is gleaning after the harvest. Okay, essentially, it's like I come into my farm and I find there is a new employee, all right? And I'm asking the general manager or CEO, okay, looks like you added staff. You understand? So who is this? So it means he was not in charge of the day-to-day running of the business. And that's where we want to get our businesses to a place where you can be able to say, you know what? I can be able to take a trip to Bethlehem. All right? He had taken a trip to Bethlehem. Bethlehem, the house of...
The chosen, what season is that, please?
We've been trying to convince the chosen to do the Old Testament as well. I think for now they have the New Testament. So, but then those businesses, when they get to that level, when we bring them together, you realize that there is so much more that you can do, and that's why you'll notice on the pamphlet again, one of our core values is synergy. Synergy, when it comes to numbers, we say is 1 + 1 is equals to, or 2, 1 + 1 is equals to, okay, this is where the answers vary, 11, yeah, but 1 + 1 is 3. In other words, or 2 + 2 is 5. What it means is that what I could do together, or the way we define it is that the result of our working together is more than the sum of our individual efforts, all right? The result of our working together is more than the sum of our individual efforts. In other words, if your effort is 2 and my effort is 2, then when we work together, the result will not be 4, it will be greater than 4. It will be 5. And that is what is achieved when we work together as kingdom businesses. The apostle in the morning alluded to it. I thank God that we have the recording when he was talking about our ability, for example, to influence legislation, okay? And when you talk about the battles in the marketplace, and now that we are being recorded, I have to be careful. But anyway, when you talk about the battles in the marketplace, you realize that some of those battles, you won't be able to fight them alone. Even Abraham, our father, and I think today Abraham is the main character, okay? He keeps on coming up. He had how many men? 318 trained men in his household, okay? And I mean, powerful. He routed the 4 kings who had defeated the 5 kings. But if you read between the lines, he had allies, okay? Yeah, he had allies, Mamre, Eshcol, Aner. So like he had allies. So he was not all by himself. So he's very powerful, but for him to achieve victory, he still needed to be allied to others. And that's what I believe that God is going to help us to be able to do through Melnet. And that's why you can see even now we want to be allied to Kingdom Circle, Synapis, and the Chosen. God bless you.
Thank you, Jeremy. So please do not walk alone in your business. Yeah, get a community where you can belong, okay? Have your business, give your business a fellowship. I know you have a church fellowship. Now give your business a fellowship, okay? So that we can build and even influence laws and systems. So check who are your allies, who are your, what have you said? Your allies.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we have come to the end of our session. There's 1 or 2 questions. I can see our time is really gone, but let's just have 1 or 2. Oh, there are still more coming. Okay, I had assumed we don't have questions. All right, so what we'll do, maybe we can just respond in one or 2 statements, just to allow us to conclude this session. So, when I pay my house help full salary, when she has worked only half the month, how will I explain to Jeremy, who oversees my household accounts, tafadhali?
You will explain that you are a kingdom person. You will explain. Okay, anyway, let me say that therein lies the place of hearing God. Because you might think that my statement is to the end that I take all my business income and give to charity, and which is not true. Therein lies the place of hearing God. And so God will tell you, you even the Holy Spirit tells you hapo umekosea, you know, even though you're prorating, hapo umekosea, because that's the nature of a kingdom person. You do not have to be understood by the systems of the world. And matter of fact, the name the Bible gives you is foolishness to the world. So it should not bother, it doesn't bother me much to explain everything in my business. I just say this is the much I paid. Will instruct you on the granular things so that you do not do things that are actually now foolish to do. So there is a place in hearing God in whatever decision that you're making.
Thank you, which is the essence of today's theme, yeah? Hearing God in the marketplace. So hopefully you have an accountant who knows God. The Lord told me to pay this much, okay? So Saitoti, Joel, there's a question for you. Here, how long do I need to save? How long do I need to save with you to get a loan? Will I have to get guarantors to get a loan, or my SACCO shares? Will my SACCO shares be enough?
Okay, good one.
Maybe just in one
yes,
statement.
yeah. So how long it is? Basically, for an individual, it is 3 months. All you need to have been a member for 3 months. If it is a business, it is 6 months. We'll need to have to look at how the account has been operating for 6 months. Yes, you can either choose to have guarantors. That is, and how the model works is that for guarantors is that you will be able to form a group or join a group that then can become your guarantors. That is option number one. Option number two is that you can also use your own collateral. That is your own security. It could be your title deed, it could be your logbook, so that you're just self-guaranteeing yourself. And so your deposits are there to help you as a multiplier, so that, for example, you can get the credit 3 times or 4 times or even 5 times of your savings, depending on depending on how you're saving consistently, depending on how long you've been a member. So we're able to look at those things and determine how much do you qualify, and even your cash flows to determine how much you qualify.
All right. Thank you. Anne and Edwin, do you mentor business people at any stage in their business life? And if so, how do you go about it? Edwin? Just one statement so that we can conclude.
I do via search forums, and if you don't,
So mkujange forums.
yeah, and networking there is end there. So I'll be around during lunchtime. So if you have a specific question, you can come and we can exchange numbers. I am also a very big person in technology advocacy, and I'm advocating for people to automate their businesses and to use AI to do that, artificial intelligence. This is the age that we are in. You can resist it. It's like the way people are saying, I won't hire Gen Zs because of A, B, and C. Who will you hire? Utahire millennials, and all of the millennials are business owners. Utahire a fellow business owner. We have to adapt to the times, right? And part of it is embracing the technology of the day and learning how to manage change. So if you want to be mentored or have a conversation with us, we'll be around, we'll exchange numbers, and we can continue conversing. Thank you very much.
All right. And I think it's the same.
In there, I think I buy younger entrepreneurs tea and we talk over it. That
Yes,
is it.
she does,
So,
actually.
Yeah,
So,
that is
yeah.
it for me.
So tafuta namba, tafuta bill ya chai, please tafadhali.
Nitanunua.
Oh, utanunua. Thank you. All right. In a marketplace where top digital talent easily jumps to remote foreign roles or other remote work, so top digital talent has been going to remote foreign roles or other remote work, what operational systems or incentives actually build a resilient team in a local agency? So Jeremy, you'll take that question. As the last question, together with this other one, where does giving come in the business? And we close this session.
All right. Since Edwin dodged a question earlier, I would like to kick back that question to him. The one on top digital talent and
Oh, it's actually digital.
You can tell even it even has the jargons he promised. So I think.
So maybe you can do yours.
All right.
Where does giving come in business?
Yes. So that is a, I would say it is a fairly theological question, and of course we come from different local churches, and our first. So we say in Melnet, what we apply is what is known as Nehemiah technology. So Nehemiah, if you check, they were building the walls, and next to each person was, so A, son of B, building next to C, son of D. The point there being that whatever your pastor teaches you regarding giving is what you follow. Nevertheless, what I believe is that you should be able to hear God, all right? That's what my pastor teaches me. Hallelujah. So you should be able to hear God. And we say that because, as we said in the morning, when Abraham gave 10% to Melchizedek, was it written anywhere? The Levitical priesthood had not been instituted, like the commandments had not been given. So it was his ability to hear God, to discern, to have revelation that led him to give. So how do you give in business? Hearing God. Of course, we can discuss more because I know there is a lot. How do you account for that, tax-wise and so on? But hearing God. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Jeremy. I think that's the. Let's answer the top digital talent.
Over the last few years, we have seen multinationals come into the space and take our best developers. And I'll talk about, because they can offer them 3 times salary or 4 times salary of what they are taking in the local market. The answer is that you can't compete as a small business. The rule of thumb for me, you can only counter someone once. When someone resigns and the reason is they got a better offer, just counter once if you can. And then, the current generation, they want fast growth. So what if you offer them the first time and they come back and say they have gotten another offer? Will you keep countering? At some point, you let them go. It is the best for them also to be exposed to that space. But then what do we do as small businesses? How do we deal with the issue of scarcity of digital talent and also the affordability of digital talent? I think we can only mitigate. And there are various ways. One of them I just mentioned, leverage on technology, so that it is not the person that is holding your business. It's actually a whole technology stack. So that even if they leave, there are people, the accountant is the one who knows. Let me not even know, let me not talk about technology. You find one staff, anajua everything about the business, everything where it is, what happens when they are sick. Things stuck. Sindio? Yeah, we have now cases of people that are breaking down because of mental pressure because they have so much. As the business is scaling, wakona kila kitu they are handling. They never delegate. There is no shadow employee. For some time, take even an intern. Mweke number 2 kwa huyo mtu. Continue nurturing someone else. Have this habit where somebody has to be shadowed. Yeah, tusikwe watu wenye we don't also give our employees leave days because tuna work. Kama mimi ni entrepreneur na work 24/7. Why should you not as an employee No. We have to be compliant. So shadow your employees by getting talent that is not very expensive, especially these newcomers from, new talent from first entry jobs. Somebody comes there, they are graduated, they want an internship, take them, train them, use the experienced person to train them. Over time, they will actually amaze you. They can actually replace this person. How do you test it? Set this person on leave for 2 weeks. Mwambie hey bana, you will break your back. When they go out, this person is able to step into those shoes. You get some safety net. If that key staff, one day they say they are leaving, kuna watu watakuwa depressed. Mtu akikwambia, by the way, hapa ndio the journey comes to, so plan for succession. It's succession planning, and it is very crucial, especially those that are running small businesses and family businesses. Another topic for another day. But plan for and learn, leverage on technology. And as an executive, tafadhali usiseme technology ni ya hao vijana. I am doing consulting for some people, AI for executives. Imagine that. Even you as an executive, you should be able to do a bit of know where things stand. Useme ujui maneno ya hosting inakuwa, just have a bit of, one day the website is offline and there is nowhere to go and you don't know anything and the only person who has been doing that is unavailable. Be a bit leverage on technology, all that I can say. And it is also part of what you asked, that sometimes you also, you buy me the coffee, I don't buy, so if you want that consult, you do it.
All right, so we have come to the end of our session. That was wisdom, is it? That was wisdom. Those who need to get shadow people, whatever you need to do, get your wisdom, okay? So thank you very much for listening in, for being a great audience.